Okay. Okay, so right now I'm going to demonstrate a couple command line utilities for signing a JWT and then for verifying that JWT with a public certificate. In this directory, I have a private key, and just trust me, that's a private key, and we have a public key or a certificate. So these are X509 style keys as opposed to raw JWK type keys. But either way is fine. But the reference implementation right now only supports X509 style certificates and keys. But okay, so there's a public and private key, and there is a payload here. And this is the information. So this is just a simple JSON document. It has very little information in it right now. And this is the document that's going to get signed. It will be turned into a JWT, a signed JWT. So let me do that. So this command, sign poet, takes in the payload and the private key and the issuer that we're going to use, so the value for the issuer, and in this case we're using a fully qualified domain name, transparenthealth.org, and the number of seconds that the JWT should be valid. So typically, if I leave something off, it will tell me. Well, let's leave all of this off, and then it will fail, and we'll get the example used. If we don't provide any seconds, it's going to make it 1 year, which is that number for 1 year. Oh, sorry. So what happens? Let me go back to the is when this executes. What is output is a JWT. So this text string is a JWT. So let's take a look at that. Oh, over here, I'm going to oh, yes. So this utility here, this is an online JWT encoder. I typed it in there, and see, you can see the information that's inside this JOT, and you'll see that it has the issuer attached and the expiration and the time that it was issued. And those are, again, seconds. So, so that's the idea of how to sign a JOT, and then the other option is for verify. Let me do a verify here. I don't have one in my history. Okay, I'll just copy one from here. So, well, when we perform this, we're going to output that to a file called encoded.jwt. So that's going to take this JWT and put it into a file called encoded.jwt. And now, when we verify, we're taking the encoded JWT and we're verifying it using the public key that would be obtained from the endorsing body's website at a well-known URL. So, so what happens when this is issues correctly? It just outputs the content of the payload. Let's say let's say I corrupt this file. Okay, I'll just remove a few lines from our key. See what happens. So this should fail, obviously. Okay, it says unable to load certificate, so it did what we would expect. So because the certificate that it was trying to verify the signature with was now invalid because we altered it. So that's a quick demo of that tool. I should point out that you can get this here on Transparent Health Python Poetry. Pull requests are welcome, so if you find a bug with this or want to enhance this in any way, please do. So you can get more information. All of these command line utilities have Python libraries too, so you can incorporate this into your Python app. The command line utilities are something you may just want to use for kind of trying to learn what's going on, but you will probably want to use these libraries within your Python application that perform exactly the same thing that you just saw. So there's an explanation of how that works here. And last but not least, a few ideas to working with Poet. One would be to add JSON web keys support. So I mentioned we were just using X509 certificates right now, or X509 keys. Adding the JWKS support is something that I'd like to have added to this reference implementation. In the example I showed you, the public key that was used to verify the signature was a local file. So instead of, another enhancement would be to go fetch that file from the well-known URL and then apply it. So you would specify a URL, or you actually wouldn't need to specify a URL, you would just need to specify the issuer. So when you know the issuer, you can deduce the well-known URL that's pointing to the public key that's used to verify the signature. How you display the endorsement that says this organization endorses this app and it expires on this day and this is the content of the payload. How you display that in a good-looking user interface is another project. I think that would make a lot of sense if we're looking for something to do at the Code-a-thon. And just creating a Poet reference implementation for some other language like JavaScript, Java, Go, Ruby. That would also be very useful. So with that, thank you very much, and I'll be at the Code-a-thon. I'm glad to answer any questions then. So thanks.